Well, hello my fellow adventurers, and welcome back to Living the Grand Adventure. My name is Kevin, and today I'm on the trail. Kind of disappointed what I'm going to get to do, but it's still going to be fun. I'm at Burr State Park. I'm doing the perimeter trail, or at least a portion of it, around the lake. Going to be heading over here. It's going to be about 6.5 miles that I'm going to be doing today, and I want to camp in the Wayne National Forest, very near the edge of the lake itself. I'll try to find a campground or a little campsite over there that I can set up a tent. I am cooking directly on the fire. I did not even bring a cook system with me this time. I literally brought a stainless steel pot, and that's it. So it's going to be interesting. This was supposed to be a 2-night trip. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, mainly because of the water situation here at Burr. They have pretty much all the water on the northern side of the lake shut off at the spigots. And I'm not really keen to filter out of this lake because there's supposed to be a lot of mineral and nastiness as far as deposits in it. You know, basically stuff that has been there since they did the mining in the area back in the 60s and 70s and kind of degraded the water. And plus there's supposed to be some, you know, the blue algae and the green algae in the lake itself. They have warning signs up for that. My filter will probably take care of a lot of it, but I just really don't want to take a chance. And basically where I'm going to be camping, there's one spot north of where I'm camping that would have water. That's Dock 4. After that, it would be about a 16-mile hike to the next source of water. And just not really looking to do that. And that includes an overnight stay as well. So, you know, you'd need anywhere from 5 to 6 liters of water, and unfortunately it's not something I've got. This is kind of neat. I've noticed this on the trail. They've got discus golf right here. I'm parked at the nature center. I did verify that I can do an overnight park there, and it's perfectly fine. There is a register there as well for the trail. I did go ahead and register and everything else, so that's kind of neat. And I've got, like I said, about 6.5 miles to head over here to. Basically, it's the divider trail between Burr Cove and the Lakeshore Trail. So guys, yeah, we're following yellow blazes and blue blazes as well. The blue blaze, of course, is the Buckeye Trail. We've discussed that before. That's the trail here in Ohio that kind of circumnavigates most of the state. And the yellow trail is the lakeside trail here, the backpacking trail here at Burr. So that's what we're following today. And like I said, we have a short 6.5 mile at the most trail. I've got all trails running, so we'll definitely determine exactly how far it is from the nature center to where I'm going to be camping. And all right, already come up on our first point. We parked between point C and point B, and of course we're heading this direction. We have come up on point B now. That's right here. And we're going to continue on out. We're going to point A, or point S, and it'll take us on down around the bottom of the lake there. So we're going to be heading out towards this marina. I'm probably going to stop there and get some lunch. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to go right through here, but I'm gonna follow this yellow blaze. This is supposed to be out towards this marina that we're going to. There's supposed to be water there, so hopefully everything works out. I do have about 2 liters of water on me right now, and I do have the capacity to actually carry almost 4. So that's probably what I'm gonna do once we get to, I believe, Dock 2 is supposed to be the last place I can get water before I get to my site. So I'll fill up and just carry all 4 liters. It's going to be kind of heavy. And this particular trip, I was counting on a little bit more water situation, and where they've got everything kind of shut down, it kind of sucks because I do have extra weight because I'm carrying fresh food as well. I've got some fresh veggies for tonight for dinner and a frozen steak. It weighs about 3/4 to 8/10 of a pound. So kind of wish I went ahead and done dehydrated meals the entire time instead, but I thought it'd be kind of neat to go out and have a steak over the fire. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. In fact, that was probably my birthday trip which, if you guys notice, I am soloing this trip. No one's here with me. It's gonna be kind of interesting. I haven't soloed since my birthday trip back in January, so it's been about 8 months, a little over actually. So this is gonna be a return to soloing. Now, of course, I do have some trips coming up where I won't be solo, but today I am. And as far as tomorrow goes, I've really got to make a determination on what I want to do, whether I'm just going to go home or maybe a couple of other options. I'm going to kind of look at them later tonight once I get the site and kind of determine what I'd like to do. But I definitely won't be doing the entire backpacking loop because I'm not going to hike all the way north with no water and not having the idea that there could be water there. I just really would stress that idea if I got that far north and there's no water, guys. So we'll see what the big plan is going to be for the next 2 days. I'm already at point S. That really didn't take long. Of course, it's a very short stretch. Took me about 10 minutes. It's about a quarter mile or so. But point S, now we're going to head on down. I believe the next one would be point R, and we will hit it and continue our little trek over to our campsite, guys. There's actually a parking lot right here, and our first glimpse of the lake out this direction. Kind of neat, some kayaks sitting there. People probably unloaded, getting ready to go kayaking for the day. But we're heading over here to the ravine trail, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure how well that picnic table might work. Guess the legs collapsed on it. But here we are, and this is what kind of the woods have looked like so far. That little section I come down to get to point S kind of had a lot of roots, but nothing too bad, you know. Nothing I haven't seen before here in Ohio. And this looks kind of flat for a little ways. So I'm going to enjoy some flat walking and try to make some good time here. Pretty easy trail, I mean, for what it is. And we can see some of the lake through the trees here, which is kind of nice. A little bit of scenery there. But yeah, the trail hasn't been bad so far. A lot easier than I was expecting, actually. A couple of inclinations, but nothing to write home about, especially after some of the trails I've done this year. A lot of just woods walking and kind of quiet. Now today is Wednesday, September 23rd, second day of fall. Yesterday was the autumn or fall equinox, which was kind of neat. Didn't expect too many people to be on trail. Thought maybe 1 or 2 people. I've been on trail less than a mile, or coming up on a mile now probably. And I've already seen a handful of people. I saw one backpacker, a group back there in that parking lot that were getting ready to kayak. I guess we could kind of not consider that actually on trail, you know, because they were actually looking to kayak and they were in the parking lot. But I did see them. And then I've seen 2 other groups, just day hiking, I would assume. One girl and guy, they weren't even carrying water bottles, so I never think that's a good idea. You shouldn't be out in the woods for any distance without water. Too easy to get dehydrated. And then I saw a couple of guys, looked like they were day hiking, and they both had hydration packs on their back. All right, let's see what this looks like here. Yeah, still nothing really major, just some route walking. Just gotta watch your footing as you go down through here. The trail, of course, is really, really dry if you can't tell. It's the dry season here in Ohio. Yeah, basically that's pretty much all of September and October and early November. It just stays really dry around here. Not a lot of precipitation. In fact, it's probably been, I would dare say, at least a week since Ohio has seen any substantial rain. kind of warm, guys. I mean, it's not 90-degree hot, but enough that I broke a sweat. I really debated whether I was going to wear my hiking pants or shorts this trip, and the lows are only supposed to get down to about mid-50s on this trip, so I thought shorts will work just fine. Oh, I'm going to open up to a nice little vantage point here. Look at this. Kind of neat. We'll step down a little bit. Get a nice view. I think there's a marina right over there. So I think we'll stop and take lunch there. It's coming up on 2 o'clock now. It will be a very quick lunch because I do have to get over to site and at least get enough wood to be able to cook a steak and boil up some vegetables. I've got some Brussels sprouts, guys. Should be a pretty good dinner. And those Brussels sprouts are fresh, straight off the produce counter there at my local grocery store. Not kind of out of the garden, unfortunately, but as close as you can get this time of year. Blazes are pretty evident on this trail, guys. Like I said, right there, you blue and yellow blazes. Blue for Buckeye, yellow for the lake. They call it the Lakeview Trail or backpacking trail. So, and you do have a pretty good view of the lake here. Making our way along here. Kind of eager to get over to this marina. I think it's Dock 1 is what I'm looking to go to, because we'll pass Dock 1 and Dock 2 today. And I think Dock 1 I'm going to stop at and get lunch. And like I said, I'm going to make it a quick lunch. I have Spam blocks for one day with some Colby cheese, the little self-sealed, vacuum-sealed blocks. And then the other day I have tuna. Well, I'm gonna make tuna wraps. And I brought a little mayonnaise, a little relish. And I think I'm gonna do the Spam today, mainly because that will be quicker. Because I'm just eager to get over to site so I can get wood and make sure I can do my dinner tonight, no problem. Get us a nice fire for tonight. Nice autumn night. Kind of relax and enjoy the first couple of nights here of autumn. One of my favorite times of year to hike. Hopefully get to do a little bit more this fall than last fall. But yeah, this trail so far has been really easy, guys. Like I said, we're down here next to this lake. Been able to see it probably for the last 3/4 of a mile to a mile now. But I'm making really good time, guys. Not having any problems on this trail. This is kind of what it looks like down through here. Straight up woods walking. I mean, you know, woods walking beside a lake with a view. So, really cool. Haven't really even used my trekking poles much. Haven't had to. Like a trail like that, occasionally just go in and pound it out. It's kind of neat. Nice wide open area. Definitely a few boats out there, people fishing, I would assume, or just enjoying the lake. Either way. Oh, check this out, guys. Nice little place you can go down here and have lunch. Just a random picnic table. So yeah, it's kind of neat. Here in the state park, they just kind of put that up. People can come in, either, you know, just have a relaxing sit, or go ahead and get them a bite to eat, whatever. And honestly, if you had a boat, you could bring that boat right up there and actually have lunch right there at that picnic table. If it was wasn't a deep, you know, like one that went deep into the water. So it's kind of cool. So guys, I made it to Dock 2. Kind of neat. Some people fishing. Some pit toilets right up there. And this is point R. If you notice right here, I missed point P back this way. I just didn't even see it. But this is point R. I'm gonna go ahead and point. Oh, no, wait a minute. This is point P. That's parking. This is point Q. Excuse me. So I'm gonna push on out to point Q and go to dock 1. It's only another mile. Figure I'll go ahead and knock that out, and then I'll eat lunch, because then I'll have less than 3 miles to sight, and that'll be kind of cool. Plus, I was looking. They have some picnic tables over here, but they're not in the shade. Really don't want to deal with that. Now I've just got to figure out where the trail goes back into the woods. I would assume it's going to be on the other end over here. Yeah, you got your little pit toilets up there. And I would assume that's dock 1 right over there. So that won't be too hard to get over to. These are primitive sites. Now see, they want you to call in and reserve these sites, and the girl told me that they were kind of booked up. I don't even, there's nobody here. So there's absolutely no reason that I couldn't actually pick one of these sites. Now, I do believe these sites are $20, and I'm like, if I'm gonna pay that much, I can just drive over to Burr Cove, guys. All right. Let's see if I can locate, it might be the trail there. Going up the woods there. Just so you know, you come out over there, don't go up that trail. It's actually right here. You actually had to come up the road, and it goes back into the woods here. They threw maybe 2 or 3 blazes up the hill, which they're blazed on this side, if you can tell. Right down there is a blaze. But coming this direction, there's no blazes. They need to just come in, hit a couple of spots. But no big deal. Nothing anybody who's ever been out a little bit would know how to find a blaze like that. I kind of had the idea that it might just go up the hill there. A lot of state parks do that. They'll snake you up a road and then dump you back on the side like this. It's just easier than trying to blaze up a hill, I guess. And that's fine, you know. I'm back at it, back in here. I only lost maybe like 3 or 4 minutes trying to figure out where it was. Wasn't the hardest I've ever had to do. Wasn't like our Zaleski fill back in the day. That's for sure. You guys had any fails on trail? Go ahead and comment below. Let me know. You know, whether it's just a minor mishap, equipment failure, you got lost all the way around. Just comment below, guys. Still see people on the trail, guys. Just past the guy, he was fishing. I think we actually saw him from across the lake there when we first come into the marina, and he's heading back out. He had his rod and a backpack fish tackle box. So that's kind of neat. I have a fishing license. Eventually I'm going to get some fishing on the channel. It's just the couple of times I've been out fishing, I really didn't do much. And you know, you can't make a video if you don't catch a fish. So I used to do pretty decent. Back home where I lived, there was more creeks and streams, and I fished in those. I never was a big lake fisher, and not really experienced at lake fishing. Nice little bridge right here, and a little bit more blowdown, but nothing detrimental to the trail. But as I was saying, this is kind of dried up. There's a little bit of water here. Still wouldn't trust it because of that mining, like I said. But anyway, going back to my point, you know, back home there was streams, rivers, creeks that we fished in, and I was a lot better at that. And we used to vacation at the beach every year, and now we'd go down for almost 2 weeks every year. And I got pretty proficient fishing down there off the coast there, around the Outer Banks, just north of Wilmington. It's kind of where we went. And big pavilion out there. Probably port, and it looks like there's some more primitive camping out there. But I got pretty proficient at that. You know, I could catch flounder, and you know, we'd bait up some shrimp and catch some bigger fish out that way, some sea bass, snapper, things like that, and that was fun. But since I moved to Ohio, I've done some lake fishing occasionally, and I'm just not very good at it. I've got to really invest some time into learning how to lake fish and what type of fish are in the area, and you know, type of bait, things like that, lures. Maybe once I get kind of a little bit more proficient, you might see a little bit more fishing on the channel. I've done a couple of fishing trips this year, just not very productive. Really relaxing, had a great time, enjoyed it, just didn't catch nothing. Doing a little gradual incline now, coming up the other side of this marina, this dock, if you will. Either way, they call it a dock. A dock for me is one thing, it has a couple boats on it. That's more like a marina. But this is a little tributary that feeds into the lake. Kind of dried out right now. Like I said, once again, it's dry season here in Ohio. Well, I'll be glad when we get over here to Dock 1. I am hungry. Wow. Had 3 boiled eggs and half an avocado for lunch, or for breakfast, excuse me. And I had a protein bar in the car on the drive down. And that's all I've had today. So, yeah, it's getting time for some lunch. So definitely one good thing about this trip. Normally, when I come up to trips like this, either through excitement or just stress, or you know, just whatever the situation may be, I've done it a number of times. Normally that first day, I'm really exhausted, mainly because the night before, you know, I'll go to bed 11:30, midnight at the latest, and I'm awake at 3 o'clock. So I'm sleeping, you know, 3-4 hours at the most, and then I'm awake, and by the time I get on trail, you know, I've been awake 6-7 hours, and by the time I go to bed that night, it's, you know, 10:30, 10 o'clock, and I've been up 18, 19, 20 hours sometimes. Not this trip, guys. It's one good thing. I went to bed last night. I was in bed before 11 o'clock. I was really tired. I did a lot of stuff yesterday, actually, over the last couple of days, to try to get ready for this trip and to make sure everything at the house was squared away so Jenny would have an easy time while I'm gone, you know, because we always try to do things for each other, and, you know, half the workload, I guess you'd say, we both put 110% into it. But I was really tired. So I went on to bed, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, going to bed. I hope I don't wake up at 3 o'clock. While I was laying there, I slept, fell asleep. I was probably asleep by 11 o'clock, to be honest, guys. And 3 o'clock hit, I had to go to the restroom. I said, oh no, I'm gonna be awake. I'm not gonna get back to sleep. So I went in there and laid back down. And I laid there. I was back asleep by 3:15, guys. So Jenny's alarm for work went off about 20 to 7, and I woke up. And I've been up since then. Got up about 15 to 7. This is kind of neat. Little boardwalk right through here. It's really bouncy. But yeah, wow, that is bouncy. Kind of throws off your equilibrium a little bit. That was kind of neat. Anyway, you know, so I didn't get up to like 15 to 7, so I actually got a good amount of sleep. I mean, at least 7.5 hours, which is probably the most I've had going on a trip in a year, or longer even. So I'm really stoked about that. I don't feel bad at all. I'm not tired, not already feeling it. Feeling this incline here. Whew. Not ready for that one. But yeah, there's the marina we just passed. Should be heading over to this Dock 1 here. Made it to Point Q. And we are at Dock 1 now. Looking around to see if there's a picnic table. I've got this one here. I might take it. I think there's actually like a bathroom over there. There's supposed to be a snack shack, things like that. But I'm gonna go over here. I'm just gonna chill out on this bench here. Thought about hitting that one over there, but it's not really shaded. And that's the only two I see in the parking lot. So I'm gonna hit this one in the shade and sit down and see if we can plot our next course of action where we're going to be going, because I don't see the trail unless it goes out this direction. Figure it out here in a little bit, but we're going to sit down right here at this picnic table and just have us a good lunch. There's supposed to be a water fountain here too. Looks like the parking lot might go around that way. I bet you that's where I gotta go. Might be water over there. Hopefully, because if there's not water here, I'm hurting. So, wrapped up lunch. Back on the trail now. Making pretty good time. Right here is about the halfway mark between the nature center and where I'm heading at. It's just over 3 miles, so that's kind of cool. Trail does continue down here at the end of this parking lot. This is what the marina looks like here, Dock 1. It's kind of neat. I hadn't seen this one before. Actually, I hadn't seen either one of them. I've been to Dock 3. We drove through that during our vacation a couple of years ago just to look at it. But these particular docks I hadn't been to. So definitely seeing a new area of Burr Oak that I've never seen before, which is kind of nice. It looks like the trail is right up here. We should go on out basically right beside the lake from what I'm looking at on my map. Should have, like I said, roughly about 3 miles. Might even be a little bit less. This might actually even be over halfway to where I'm going today. Feeling pretty good. Feet's a little sore. I wore my older backpacking shoes, the ones I had last year, mainly because the boots are a little bit heavier. Yeah, that may have been a mistake because my feet's a little bit more sore. The boots were really comfortable last trip, but they were really hot. And I thought I'd try these out again. I think I've wore these about to the point where they're just not really usable on trail now. So I'm probably going to have to switch over those boots and just stick with them until I can get a new pair of either cross trainers or something like that. These shoes are a little, yeah, my feet are a little tender. Other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. Back feels good. Legs feel pretty good. Yeah, doing all right. Yeah, trail goes up right beside these boats here. I would assume some of these are maybe for rent, or these are actually people who own these boats and they pay to moor them here. I'm not sure. I could always look into it, but it's kind of neat to see all these different types of boats. It would be kind of nice to have something like this. Kayaker out in the water there. Guy over there, he moored his boat up over there. So yeah, good view of the lake right now. Now, if nothing happens, the campsite I've picked tonight should have a fairly decent view of the lake as well. And the dam itself, the Tom Jenkins Dam, which is the dam that partially makes this lake and everything. Because I do believe this is a reservoir lake, you know, basically man-made. Most lakes in Ohio are like that. Yep, and over there's Dock 2. We'll go back past that tomorrow as we head out. I should be coming up on the Tom Jenkins Dam very soon. Should be up here on the left, out to the west. And once I get past that, my site should be less than a half a mile. Probably even quite a half mile. Might even be a quarter mile at that point in time. So I'm really angling to see this dam. One thing I've learned, these hiking shoes, like I said, they kind of had wore out on me. I got some new insoles. I was hoping because they're lighter, they'd be kind of comfortable for this trip. No big deal. My feet are killing me, guys. Should have known better. Should have went with the boots. Because the last couple times I've wore those have been fairly comfortable, fairly nice to use. These are done. I can wear them around the house, out to the store, but they're retired after this trip. I won't use them on trail again. They are just absolutely eating my feet alive. Might be another good reason. I don't think I could do the 22 miles in these shoes. So, another good reason to go on home tomorrow. Or go up to Burr Cove. I'm probably going home and get ready for that next trip. Try to enjoy as much as I can on this trip. I can definitely tell I'm carrying a lot more weight than I've been used to this summer. Of course, getting ready for winter, gotta start getting used to that, because I'll have to probably switch packs, which will immediately add about 3 pounds, 2.5 pounds. Then I'll have to switch over to the heavier air mattress, the heavier sleeping bags and such. Basically more weight all the way around. Like I said, lots of up and downs. This really stinks with this weight and these shoes. But live and learn. You cannot reinvigorate worn shoes with new insoles. I learned that this trip for sure. They still have good tread. It's just, I guess the interior of the shoe is just wore down. They're done. Retired. We're actually on the Army Engineer Corps land right now, and this is that big spillway they have right here that pours into the lake. I don't know if it ever gets used, but it's kind of crazy. Trail come out right over there, and we're going to continue this way. Got this little incline, and it looks like it's basically a mowed path right through here, so that might be awesome. Might be able to get a little bit extra time and get to moving and get over to site. It is 4 o'clock right now, 4:02. Oh yeah, this is, wow, that's flat and goes straight for a while. So let's see if we can get some speed here, guys. It's slanted to the sides. It's going to make it a little bit harder. We're at the Tom Jenkins Dam. Looks like the trail goes out this direction. Oh, benches. I think I do cross the dam. I'll take a double check look at that. That's a pretty little area. But yes, the Tom Jenkins Dam, guys. Nice little place to sit down and take a break. If I wasn't that close, my site should actually be right over in there somewhere. I don't normally like asphalt walking, but this is actually a little bit easier than what I've been doing. Those shoes are not doing too good, guys. Like I said, they'll get retired to just everyday use. Maybe if I cut the grass, something like that. Say this is maybe a maintenance area, something like that. Maybe sewage treatment, I'm not sure. I'm sure it ties into the reservoir here. So we just crossed the dam. Now we're on the other side. It's like some nice area. You know, once it's actually able to open up, there's a pavilion here, right there. It's another pavilion. It's a bathhouse. I don't know if it's open. And there actually looks like there's picnic tables on down over there too. There's a fountain here. I'm just curious, if this has water, I'm gonna be upset because that means I would not have had to carry this water as far as I have. And that will stink. Because I think that's another thing that has really, really wore me down, is carrying 2.5 liters of extra water. So we are here at point O. And the campsite should be right around in here. So really 1/10 of a mile or so. But let's see if this fountain has water. Like I said, if it does, I'm gonna be a little perturbed because I was told no water here. Don't count on it. It's off. Okay, so I made the right decision. If I was a little bit more brazen, I'd pitch my tent right there and just cooking that thing right there. But can't do that. Probably would get a nice little fine if I got caught. And now we're back into the woods. Got a bench here, and looks like there's a picnic table, and there's a fire. A charcoal grill. Huh, kind of cool. Oh, now I hope this don't continue. Lots of big rocks, guys. And my feet already are hurting. Feeling very much like mush. I really do not want to walk on this too far. So what we're looking for now, though, should be off to the left here in just a few minutes. And that will be the Burr Oak Cove campground trail. It's the trail that comes from up there down to meet this. And once I get on that trail, I'm in the Wayne National Forest. I can camp anywhere I want. And there should be a couple of nice sites right off this trail, really. From my research, what I've read. So, cross your fingers. I'm really eager to get this pack off. I'm probably gonna sit down for like 10 minutes once I get here. Yeah, it should be off to the left here in just a few moments. Well guys, made it to site. It's about 6.6, 6.5 miles, something like that. Did it in just over 3 hours. Not too bad. My feet are killing me. These shoes just, yeah. It's gonna be interesting getting back out of here tomorrow. But this is site. Trail is just right down there. Right out here's the lake, right there's the dam, and we are camping in a pine forest, guys. Big tall pines all around. Really, really pretty area. Digging it. The Burr Oak Cove trail is actually just over here, so this isn't actually on the trail. But I got to looking, I knew that it was supposed to be in a pine forest. I happened to look over this direction and see these big tall pines. And I was like, I wonder if it's over that direction, and here we are. There actually should be another site on down a little ways, but this is good enough for me. This would have been a lot better for a hammock setup, probably between these two trees or between those two or something. But I'll make do with my tent. But I'm here now. I'm going to sit down, get me some electrolytes, relax for maybe 15-20 minutes. And I'm gonna, probably actually the first thing I'm gonna do is start gathering up some wood. I have a couple of here, a couple little small branches, a few little things. Of course, there's pine needles everywhere I can use for tinder, so that's gonna make it easier as far as that goes. I've just gotta find wood and enough of it that I can actually build a fire. Like I'd like to at least have a fire for 2-3 hours. I'm not seeing anything in this general vicinity right here, but I may have to explore it in the woods a little bit or go down out this direction a little bit. So it'll be fine. I'm sure I'll find a few things. It won't take much. Like I said, I'm not planning on burning a fire very long tonight, guys. I'm probably going to go to bed between 10 and 11. Get up bright and early and get out of here and head home so I can plan that next trip with the Alex. Like I said, unfortunately, I got to cut this one short, but what can you do? You can't hike another 16 miles with no water, so It is what it is. It's a pretty view though. See the lake way out here. There's a number of boats still out there fishing, so that's kind of cool. I've got sights set up. Got the fire ring kind of cleaned out. Got my pine needles down there. And I took some of this old bark and stuff. It's really dry, so I figured it'll catch pretty good. Got my little makeshift grill. Sticks and stuff. You know, everything's kind of ready to go. I should have a good 3 to 4 hours worth of wood. And now I've just been kind of relaxing for the last 15-20 minutes. I'm about to get a little bit of dinner started. I've got, basically, this is a big steak that I kind of marinated. Didn't really marinate. That's actually just peppercorn, garlic peppercorn. That's literally what it is. And it's made its own marinade as it's thawed back out. And this is Brussels sprouts. I gotta cut the ends off and get ready to boil those up. I'm going to do it right here in the fire. And I brought my little Stanley this time. That way I'm using stainless so it doesn't destroy titanium or aluminum. The GSI boiler would go okay in the fire, but it has those plastic handles on the thing. And, you know, if you look at my review, it shows that it has the plastic handles. Well, it's actually plastic on the handle itself, like right through here. And, you know, that's not going to cut it. That would melt. But if you notice,
these are the regional weather conditions at 6 p.m. At Parkersburg, it was partly sunny.
6:50.
The temperature was 71 degrees.
Yeah,
and the
it's
dew point 54.
military time, 1850.
The wind was
That's what I've gotten used to in my, basically ever since I was little. It just made more sense to me, but you know, I'm able to translate that pretty quick. But that's the weather band, because it's really cloudy. It has been cloudy most of the evening, and I was kind of worried about rain, but they're actually saying it should be some partial clearing later tonight. I'll probably be in bed before that happens. But like I said, I'm just going to kind of relax. Got a little bit of electrolytes I'm sipping on right now. But that's a pretty view, guys. We'll walk on down this direction. I'll show you kind of where I'm at. You know, this is the site like I showed you. And then you come out this way. The trail actually runs right down here, the actual Lakeview trail. I'm kind of avoiding that because there's a ton of roots right in this little section. I'll show you here in just a moment. This is the way I come into the site, and this is where I've been kind of going back and forth getting wood. I got my bear bag over here. It's not very high because I inadvertently got half of it stuck in a tree. It caught up on a branch and I had to cut it, so I can't get it as high as I normally do. Yeah, that guy was fishing right over in here. He's gone now, but ooh, birds. What we got? Pretty cool. Yeah, fish are jumping too. I've been noticing that too. But yeah, this is why they call it Burr Oak Cove, because this is actually, the lake goes on out that way, but this is kind of like a cove, and this is Burr Oak Cove, and of course the campground is actually right up the hill. It's pretty out in here. I can actually hear people up there occasionally. But yeah, it's a pretty little view. Yeah, see, like right through here, tons of roots there, tons of roots there. I'm avoiding all that. So I've been kind of trekking up and down the hill here. There were a number of boats out in here, but they've kind of gone in. I mean, it is coming up on 7 o'clock. It'll be dark in the next 30 minutes. Well, you know, that's when the sun goes down, but it won't take it long with the overcast. If you notice, it's really, really overcast. So yeah, guys, I'm getting ready to go ahead and start working on dinner a little bit. These Brussels sprouts, if you notice, the ends have kind of gotten brown. Bought them about 4 or 5 days ago in anticipation of this trip, and they just kind of got brown in the refrigerator a little bit. And then of course on the trail today, they were cold up against the steak because it was froze when I first put it in there, but of course it's thawed out now and they're warm. So I'm gonna cut that brown off a little bit so I can get them down in this pot and boil them. I'm gonna cut it off into this bag I've already got. So I'm gonna drop these down in here and just pick them out one by one and cut that brown off of there real quick. And then these guys will be ready to go. And then all I have to do is start the fire, get it caught up. I can put that in pretty much the time I get it started so I can get the water boiling, because these do take about 10-15 minutes to really, really get good and done. I mean, I don't care if they're completely soft, but I mean, I don't want them hard either. So see, I took that little brown off. That'll make it look a lot better. Now, yeah, that one's not too bad. I'll just take this little sliver off. Boom. you know, Brussels sprouts is just another something I've acquired a taste for. And I have to say acquired, because, you know, it's not like I woke up one morning and said, hey, I want Brussels sprouts. It was an acquired taste. Basically, after, you know, I did the keto diet really heavily. I mean, we're talking like, you know, I wouldn't have 10 carbs a day for about six months to a year. And that's when I kind of, you know, because I got to the point where I was kind of bored. I had to have something else to eat. So I come up with the idea of Brussels sprouts. And Brussels sprouts with a little bit of salt on them and a little bit of butter are really good. I don't have either one with this though. I mean, I was going to bring some salt and I completely forgot. So all I have is the Brussels sprouts, which, I mean, they'll work. They are perfectly good, plain. Once I get this brown off of here. And the good thing is I didn't bring a lot of them, so it's not going to take a lot of water to boil these. So I'll still have plenty of water to drink on tonight. Yeah, a little bit of something to eat right there. I mainly wanted to concentrate on the steak tonight, but this is kind of cool having these. And it probably won't take more than just enough to cover them to really get them to boil. Actually, I mean, you don't have to really cover them. Probably about right there. So you see, I mean, I basically used, what's that, maybe 7-8 ounces. That is 1.5 liters bottle, so not a lot. And they're covered. And now ready to go on the fire. When I get done, basically what I'll do, see, what's really cool about the Stanley is it has drain ports. I don't know if you can see from over there, but it has drain ports here and it has a hole here, so when you dump it, it literally dumps really well. This works great with pasta and everything. Now, one thing is that handle does get hot, but I have a couple of things to get a hold of it with, so I'll be okay there. And then all I got left to do is get this fire going and get the steak on there. It's about 7:30. Got the fire going. I already have my steak on there. It's kind of going to get a little flame kissed. Just kind of want it to get done pretty quick. I'm probably going to have to flip it here in a second because it's been on there for a few minutes. Yeah, that fire caught up a little bit faster than I thought it was going to underneath that, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, we got it going. Got my Brussels sprouts over here on the side. Looks like they're actually already starting to steam up a little bit, so that's kind of cool. Fire is kicking. Got my Brussels sprouts over there in the corner, but the steak is done and it is awesome. Look how good that looks, guys. Got me a little piece of wood over here I'm using as a plate. This is the best, man. Those Brussels sprouts are starting to boil. Give them about 5 minutes, they'll probably be really good to go. Yeah, nothing better. Beside a lake, camped out, underneath the cloudy sky. I wish it was stars. But with a killer steak. Look at that, guys. That is awesome. I'm going to devour this. That looks so good. I am so hungry. That Spam for lunch didn't go too far, but this will top off the night really good. So I'm going to enjoy this. I'll check back with you after I eat it. I got dinner over with. The Brussels sprouts turned out really good. They boiled up really nicely in that pot. Steak was good. A little overcooked, but I think that was because I had the fire so hot. It's about 20 to 9 now, so getting on up in hours here. I did have my watch off for a little bit. If you notice, I've got this watch on. This is the one that has my thermometer. Normally I have it on the back of my backpack. Had it off and just sitting here in the ambient air temperature, and it was still 68 degrees. So, and that was like 15 minutes ago. So it's warm. I actually brought an underlayer because I was afraid it would get cooler. I mean, they were talking, you know, it possibly getting down to 55 tonight, 52 tomorrow night. I mean, yeah, if it's 55 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not really stressing it. I don't know, so I probably didn't need to bring that. That was just extra weight as well. Maybe the next few trips I might need that, but not this trip. But yeah, I've got a pretty healthy fire going here, guys. If you'll notice, let me go ahead and turn the light off. It's definitely, you can see it a lot better that way. Give me a second. Yeah, pretty healthy fire. And I've still got this much wood. So, I mean, I'm good for the night. I mean, I'll still have a fire going at probably 10:30, so I'm not stressing it. it didn't take any time to get that food done. I mean, I ate the steak, I ate it by itself, and then I ate the Brussels sprouts afterwards. I ate probably about 3/4 of the steak, and there was a big line of gristle right in the middle, and that kind of sucked because I actually paid a little bit more for it, so it was a good cut of steak, and somebody needs to learn how to cut steak. But it was still good. I mean, I still probably had about a 3/4 pound steak. That's plenty. And then I had, probably a 1/2 pound of Brussels sprouts. So, and those Brussels, when I cut that brown off and got all that off there, those tasted really good. Needed a little salt, but I can do without them. It was still good. I'm actually kind of full. I do have my almonds pulled out right here for a minute. That way, if I decide I want a snack, I can have a few almonds. But other than that, yeah, I've got everything ready to put up. I've already got my cold soak. I'm trying something new with my cold soak. Normally, I have a container of some type where I cold soak my oatmeal. I've told you about that, where I just add the water the night before, let it soak overnight, and then eat it the next day. I'm trying something new. I'm like, well, if I can do hot oatmeal in a Ziploc bag, let's try to cold soak in a Ziploc bag. So I'm trying that because it would save a lot of space and a little bit of weight in my pack, because that's the one thing the entire time since I've gotten that new pack and I've been dealing with it, that I've not been able to figure out how to get a cold soak out in there, because I started out with a bigger container that was an ice cream container that I washed out. I've looked at a couple of other containers and they're just bulky in my bag, so I'm like, if this works, this might be what I do, is just cold soak my oatmeal straight in a Ziploc bag and good to go. Right now I actually have it down in my cook pot, so, and I'm gonna hang my cook pot and everything like I normally do. So, and the cool thing is, I don't know if I ever showed you guys, the Stanley doesn't come with a bell handle, one of these handles where you can hang it on something. I added that myself. It's just a piece of stainless steel wire that I drilled the holes on either side, measured it out really good with it, and I drilled it with a Dremel, and then I just added that in and then bent it to the shape I wanted. So it hangs now. I can actually hang it over a fire and everything. I even thought maybe like this winter, especially if I'm by myself, I could make a stew and just set it over a fire and let it simmer throughout the day. Or a chili or something like that. As long as it's not right on top of the fire, it can simmer the entire day and stay warm. And I could even eat it throughout the days. So that'd be kind of neat. Might be something to try. But I did this a while back. I mean, this was a pot that Paige was carrying for a long time because she liked this one. And, it was the first pot I ever actually owned. So I passed it off to her because she liked it. And I'm carrying it right now. And she was carrying it because I had moved on to, of course, initially the aluminum GSI boulder. And then I moved on to the titanium pots that I'm using now normally. But over the fire, this one works really good. Like I said, I just stuck it right over the coals. Didn't put the lid on it because it does have this... The flip top here is plastic, and if you can tell, I've actually had it in the fire before and it melted just a touch and just got a little out of shape, so it became misshapen. So I learned that the hard way, so I don't put that down in the fire, but you can leave it open and it still heats up just fine on the fire. Like I said, I boiled Brussels in less than 10 minutes. They were good and soft. So it's kind of neat. I actually have enough internet signal that I'm able to FaceTime the family. So it's kind of cool. I've been able to do that. What we've been doing, maybe 30 minutes. So that's really cool. Enough internet here to do that. So you could definitely do Netflix, Hulu, anything like that. Watch you a little bit of TV. So guys, it's about 5 after 10. Really good night. FaceTime the family for a few minutes. They all got kind of tired, so I went ahead and let them go. Built the fire back up, and now I'm having a good time. I'm just kind of chilling out. Eating a little bit of almonds and just relaxing. Feeling pretty good. The muscles have kind of unwound from the trip. The hike over here, where my feet were hurting, they've kind of... They're still sore, but they're better. And I'm just like, I'm having a good time. I got some music in my ear, having a good night. So, gotta get my bear bag up here in a few minutes. Once I get that up, all the chores will be done for the night. I'll be climbing in the tent probably in the next hour and a half. So guys, it's about 11:30 now. It's getting awful late. I'm ready to head to bed. I've got the fire out. I had doused it a little bit with some water, made sure it was good and out where I'm around these pine needles and these pine trees. I didn't want anything to catch fire overnight, so I made sure it's good and out before I lay down. Yeah, it's been a great day. Really enjoyed kind of being out here by myself soloing, but I'm definitely ready to go ahead and get that 6.5 miles over with tomorrow. I hope my feet don't hurt too much, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll go ahead and head on home. I'll get that next trip for Alex and I planned. It's coming up this weekend. But definitely, guys, if you've liked this video, check out my Instagram and my Facebook. I'll go ahead and put the links up here on the screen for you guys to check that out. I'll have video and photos there that you can't see here on YouTube. And definitely go ahead and like this video, share it, comment, and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys and definitely enjoy getting new subscribers who like to check out the channel. Whenever I do get something posted, normally it's about weekly. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get off here and head to bed. I'm pretty tired. Going to try to rest and stretch these muscles out, guys, and get my feet feeling better for tomorrow. Anyway, always remember to live your great adventure to the fullest. I'll see you tomorrow on the trail as we head out. Take care and good night, guys.